All right, Monsters fans, here we are at Hopkins Road in Liverpool. First game of the weekend. Monsters are the visiting team. Maddie, number 99, starting off. She is 0-2. She was able to come around on that change up there, get a piece of it, sent that ball back over the backstop. So Monsters are our visiting team. North Country is the home team. 0-2 misses outside. 1-2 on Maddie. On the mound for North Country is number 2, May. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Maddie, and that misses. 2-2. Behind the dish for North Country is Emily H. That's 2 balls that has gotten away from her there. She's going to need to squeeze and hold on to that one. Otherwise, these Monster girls are going to tear her up. Here's the 2-2. And Maddie swings and knocks that one foul down the first base line. Two balls and 2 strikes on Maddie. And the home plate umpire lost sight of her balls. There's a foul tip by Maddie, staying alive. Two balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter, Maddie. Top of the first inning. Here's the pitch from May. Maddie hits that. And now it is touch foul. Here's the 2-2 pitch again from May. Maddie hits this one back over the backstop again. She keeps dipping, getting underneath that ball. It is a hair chilly this morning. Should warm up once we see the sun, assuming that happens. Here's the 2-2 to Maddie. Another foul tip straight back this time. Maddie is battling. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the 9th or 10th pitch of the at-bat here. May gets set on that little strip of turf. And Maddie hits this one first baseline right at the first base player, LEP. And she is out. 3 unassisted for out number 1. That'll bring up Estelle. Here's the first pitch to Estelle. Comes around, shows bunt, lays one down. Fielded by May, throw to first. Pulls the first baseman off the base. And Estelle is safe at first on an E3. Had she held onto that ball, I'm pretty sure Estelle would have been out. That brings up Hannah Simmons to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. Keep an eye on Estelle there, and she's off and running. She's down, and that ball gets away from the shortstop. Stolen base, Estelle Dallin. And that pitch was a ball. It is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 from May to Hannah. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Ball gets away. Estelle falls down halfway through. She goes back. 1 ball, 1 strike. a pitch to Hanish. Sits on a changeup. Ball goes into right field. Estelle's coming around. She's going to go home, and she's going to score. And it's an RBI single for Hannah. The Monsters lead 1-0. Here comes Riley Trude. Riley receiving accolades in her high school. Freshman varsity player. Hit one over the fence, I believe, this season. First pitch to Riley. Misses, goes outside. That's a ball. Again, the ball gets away from Emily, and that's going to allow Hannah to take second base. 1 ball, no strikes, runner on second, 1 out, 1 run in. We're going to have a conversation on the mound. Everybody's talking to everybody. This big meeting. So we got the outfields meeting together. Coach Dave's meeting with his batter and his second base, or his on deck player and second base runner. Coach Joe's meeting with the batter. Umpires looking on. Other umpires. She's gonna break this one up. Maybe she's checking the time. Waiting to see if those breakfast sandwiches are ready over at the snack bar. So I believe it's 1-0. And it is 1 ball, no strikes. Game turned over to May. And Riley Trude knocks this one into right field. At the right fielder, she grabs it. Hannah goes back to tag up at second, and she makes it to third. So that'll bring up Ella Persegen with 2 outs and a runner on third. Riley hit that ball, but she hit it on the nose, went directly to the right fielder, Z. That first pitch is a ball, 1-0 on Ella. Here's the 1-0 to Ella, swung on, chopper to first, and that goes foul, strike 1. One ball, 1 strike on Ella. Runner on third, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from May. And Ella hits that one. Chopper fielded by May. Throw to first in time for out number 3. But the Monsters pick up a run. They lead 1-0. North Country coming to bat. It'll be Lucy, Ellie, May, and Grace coming up. Nice hit, kid. Or nice contact. It was solid. It just went right at that girl. I have to label these chairs. Like this one, my coffee cup does not fit in. Beers, yes. Coffee, no. You know?
Yeah, mine's a little...
I got one of those pod rockers, which I love, but it doesn't have a cup holder at all. It's got like a little sack on the side. Yeah, it's like, just want me to spill my drink, you know? All right, here we go. Aria Heath on the mound for the Monsters. She's going to face off against Lucy. First pitch, Lucy pops this one up, shortstop, caught by Hannah. Out number one. One pitch, one out. I lost my pen. I found my pen. This is LEP, first base player. First pitch, a swinging strike one. Change up. Ellie way out in front of that one. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on Ellie. And that one just misses. That's the first ball thrown by Aria Heath. 1 ball and 2 strikes. She only had 1 pitch to Lucy. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So with 2 outs, that brings up the pitcher for North Country. They call it Nova. Here's May. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's in there. Call strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on May. There's the 1-1. Swung on. That's popped up. Center field is Dan-Dalin. Not going to get there. Lands in the dirt. May reaches on a single. Not sure who called for it. I don't think anybody did. The ball was right behind second base. That'll bring up Grace R. Grace is the left fielder, starting left fielder. Here she is with 2 outs and a runner on first. Aria deals up and out, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Aria. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. One is hit to first, fielded at first base by McCarthy, and she steps on the bag for out number 3. So North Country strands a runner, unable to plate anybody. After 1 inning of play, it's the Monsters 1, North Country 0. Coming up to bat for the Monsters, it's Chevy, Liv, Kenzie, and Lizzie. It's a big opportunity in the game. In the next life, I'm trying to stay paid. But I die, put my money in the When I die, put my money in the grave. I really gotta put a couple in the place. Really just that in the days. I really might check this on my face. Little CC, little slap in the face. I used to say, back to the max in the day. Now I'm really nice, but I feel good. Ain't I gotta die, put my money in the grave. I was on time. All right, here we are, ready to start off inning number 2. Umpires are in place. First pitch to Chevy's way high. She's a tall girl, but she's not that tall. Here's the 1-0 to Chevy. Swung on, popped up. That's foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 to Chevy. Changeup doesn't quite make it. 2-1. Chevy swings over the top of that one. 2-2. He was early on the bottom, dropped out of that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chevy. See if she can get the timing down here on May's pitch. And she gets a piece of it and goes over the backstop. We'll do the 2-2 pitch again. Here's the pitch from May. And Chevy hits this one down to third base line, field by third baseman, throw over to first in time for out number 1. Nice throw across the diamond by Alice. That'll bring up Liv with 1 out. First pitch to Liv. Misses outside, ball 1. Sure would like it if somebody turned the thermostat up a degree. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. May gets her sign. Here's the 1-1. High, 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Liv. That's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And Liv pops this one straight up. That's going to go over the backstop. Hits the bleachers. Shakes some of the rain and morning dew off of it. Do the 2-2 pitch again. Changeup sails high. 3-2. So here's the payoff pitch. See what kind of patience Liv has. Sit on this ball. Or chat to it. And she watches ball 4 go by. Liv, a 1-out walk for the Monsters here in the first. That brings up Kenzie to the plate. Pitch from May, high, and that gets away from Emily. And allows Liv to take second base. So 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes, runner on second. Here's the 1-0, call strike 1. Well, Kenzie's seen one now, as they say. Let's see if she can hit one. Here's the 1-1 for Kenzie. And Kenzie makes contact, hits that one. It gets by the second base player. Liv is going to round third. She's going to come in to score. That's an E4. And there's a run in. So with 1 out, a 1 run in, and a runner on first, here's Lizzie Trudell. Here's the pitch from May. Swung on. Lizzie hits this one into right field. Gets by the right fielder. Kenzie runs around second, comes in third, rounds third. She's going to go home, and she's going to score as Lizzie ends up at second. It's a single and an RBI. She reaches second on what? I don't know. You don't call it an error, I guess, because it was a base hit anyway. So 2 runs are in. Lizzie on second. Here's the pitcher, Aria Heath. Here's the first pitch to Aria, up and out, ball one. Here's the 1-0 to Aria. Swing and a miss, strike one. She's a little in front of that one. Here's the 1-1 from May. Changeup doesn't make it. Ball bounces, and that's going to allow Lizzie to take third. What a bad position of this camera, huh? How's that? Aria hits that ground ball. That gets by first. That's going to score Lizzie with ease. Aria with an RBI single. Coming in to run for Aria is Chevy, as she made last out. Aria is the pitcher. You're allowed a courtesy runner for your pitcher and catcher. So now with 1 out, 3 runs in, and a runner on first, here's McCarthy. McCarthy shows bunt and fouls it off, strike one. Chevy's going to have to go back to first. Here's the 0-1 to McCarthy. High and out, and that's going to allow Chevy to take second. 1 ball and 1 strike on McCarthy with a runner in scoring position. Here's the 1-1 to McCarthy. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Ball gets away from Emily, and Chevy takes third. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on third, 3 runs in for the Monsters here in the second inning. They lead 4-0. That ball's popped up, and that is fouled. McCarthy stays alive. One ball and 2 strikes. Oh, and McCarthy swings. Ball is dropped. Throw over to first for the out. Chevy comes home and scores. So McCarthy swings, and it is a 2-3 putout for out number 2. Chevy comes in to score, and now with 2 outs and nobody on, here is G. First pitch to G is high, ball 1. And Gianna hits this one. It's fair. Fielded by a third base player. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. But the Monsters plate 4, they strand none. And after 1.5 innings of play, they lead 5-0. Coming up to bat for North Country, it is their 5, 6, 7 batters, Liberty, Emily, and GP. All right, warm-ups are ready. Bottom of the second inning about to begin. Here is Liberty for North Country. First pitch in there, called strike one. Monsters lead 5-0. They are the visiting team. This is the bottom of the second inning. There's a swing and a miss by Liberty. 0-2 now. Arya Heath on the mound. Monsters playing against North Country Nova or something like that. A ball misses, ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That is the second strikeout of the day for Arya Heath. So with 1 out, here is Emily. Emily's the catcher for North Country. And Emily hits this one, goes to short. Hannah knocks it down, unable to make the play. And we'll give Emily a single on that one. So with 1 out now, that brings up the center fielder. All I could read of her coach's handwriting is that her name starts with the letter G. I think it was a G. First pitch is foul, back over the backstop. Strike 1. There's the 0-1 from Aria. Lays down a bunt. And she said dead ball. It hit her in the box, so that is strike 2. So much for G bunting. She's lucky she didn't touch that ball after she left the box, because then she would be out. Here's the 0-2 from Aria. Swung on, foul. We'll do the 0-2 pitch again. Every pitch, Emily has been leaving first base, and she's had to go back every time. She's going to be going again. Here's the pitch, and that one's fouled back, and Emily will go back again. It's good exercise for a catcher. A 30-foot sprint, and she goes back. We'll do the 0-2 again. 0-2, swung on, popped up, first base side. McCarthy over, and it goes off her glove. Tons of backspin on those infield pop-ups. They're more difficult to catch than you think. There's the 0-2 from Aria. Another foul. G has swung at every pitch and has made contact with every pitch. It's just not going the way she wants him to. Here's the 0-2 again. And there's a ball. And that ball gets away from our catcher, from, does that Liv back there? That allows Emily to take second. So now with a runner on second, 1 ball and 2 strikes on G. Let's see what happens here. Swung on, chopper, back to Aria. She throws this over to first and gets away from McCarthy. That's going to allow Emily to come around third to score. G goes to second, comes all the way around. This ball gets away from Chevy. But backing up a Chevy in left field is Brielle. Good thing, too. Otherwise, she would have scored. So Emily scores. G ends up at third on what was an E3. And Coach Dave having a conversation out on the mound. Aria was in complete control until she threw the ball away. One simple mistake. But fortunately for the Monsters, it only allowed one run to come in because of the great job of Brielle backing up from left field, coming all the way in to back up that throw from first to third. Let's see if the Monsters can hold him here. There's Ashley, looks like Stevenson up to bat. Aria deals. There's a bunt. And Ashley lays down a beauty of a bunt. Throw over to first is in time for the out. G scores from third. I put out as 5-3 for out number 2. So with 2 outs, here's Alice K. This is the third base player. So 2 outs, nobody on, 2 runs in. It's a 5-2 ball game. Monsters lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Got those bright yellow gloves on. They're really tight, though. So a lot of times those yellow gloves look like work gloves, but those look like dish gloves. Now, no balls and 2 strikes on Alice. Wonder if she's got a restaurant. Here's the 0-2. Misses inside, ball 1. Of course, Alice wouldn't have to name her restaurant Alice's Restaurant, but it would be Alice's Restaurant. And a swing and a miss, and Alice goes down swinging for out number 3. But North Country picks up 2 runs in the second inning. After 2 innings of play, the Monsters 5, North Country 2. Coming up to bat in the third inning, it is Brielle, and then top of the order, Maddie, Estelle, and Hannah coming up. All right, here we are, top of the third inning. That first pitch to Brielle misses, ball 1. Here's the 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. 1-1. Brielle hits a ground ball, soft grounder to second. A little soft toss makes that play. 4-3 for that putout and 1 out. Here comes Maddie. Maddie grounded out to first, her first plate appearance. Let's see if she can hit the ball just a little bit further. Oh, high changeup. Maddie's still out in front. Strike 1. When it's high and looks like a beach ball, you should put the bat down. We don't hit beach balls with softball bats. Here's the 0-1. And Maddie rips this one. That gets by the second base player in the center field. And Maddie's got a 1-out single here in the top of the third inning. That brings up Estelle Dallin to the plate. All right, here we go. Here's the first pitch to Estelle. She shows bunt, pulls back. That ball sails all the way back to the backstop. That's going to allow Maddie to take second with ease. It is 1-0. Now the question is, do we remove the bunt signal? Allow Estelle to swing away here or not? We'll find out in just a second. Here's the 1-0. And Estelle shows bunt, pulls back. It's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Estelle swinging away. Hits the third base player, and she's got no play at first. We're going to give Estelle a single on that one. It's a hard hit. Third baseman knocked it down. Really difficult to grab, and Estelle's speed made no throw possible. So runners at first and second and 1 out for Hannah. Pitch to Hannah. Hannah hits this one, pops this up down the right field line. That lands in fair territory. Everybody held up. Coming swinging around third is Maddie. She's going to come home to score. Estelle comes in the third. And Hannah's got an RBI single. And the Monsters got runners at the corners, 1 run in and 1 out for Riley Trude. Maddie, we like your face when you're not running too, just saying. All right, Riley hit a line drive to right field last at bat. She shows bunt, pulls back, ball, throw down to second, allows the runner to go from third, and Estelle scores. So pitches a ball. Hannah takes second, and Estelle scores, and the Monsters now lead 7-2. There's a pitch to Riley, misses, 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Changeup is high. Emily pops up. So Riley's got the green light on 3-0. I would green light her too. I'd green light her if she was playing baseball. She's an incredible hitter. And there she goes. Tattoos this one. Center field. Center fielder ice cream cones it. Hannah has to go back to tag up. And she makes it to third. And there are now 2 outs for the Monsters. So as soon as that ball popped up, Hannah should have been standing on second, because if it got dropped, she'd make it to third and score easily. Anyway, here's Ella Precision. And Ella knocks this one right center field. Right fielder comes over and makes the grab. What a snag in right field by Z. Remember, be the ball. And that's 3 outs. But the Monsters pick up 2 and strand 1 after 2.5 innings of play. It is 7-2 in favor of the Monsters. Coming up to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's Z. Then Nora and Lucy and Ellie for North Country. I thought you had that died in the air. It just died up there, right? All right, first pitch from Aria to Z is a ball. 1-0. Z pops this up. Aria, she's got it. Doesn't even have to leave the circle. That's 1 out. That'll bring up number 25, Nora. Here's the first pitch to Nora. Up and out, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Aria. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That's a movement. It was a low pitch, and then it dropped down. Here's the 1-1 from Aria. Swung on. Fielded by Hannah at short. Throw over to first in time for out number 2. So with 2 outs, we go to the top of the order. Here's Lucy H. She popped out to Hannah her last at-bat. First pitch to Lucy. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Lucy's got an extra wide stance. It's kind of hard to shift your weight when your legs are that far spread apart. Just saying. Not that I would ever coach from the sidelines, you know. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on Lucy. Aria deals. That's in there. Call strike 3. And North Country goes down 1-2-3. And after 3 innings of play, it's the Monsters 7, North Country 0. Coming to bat in the top of the 4th inning, it's Chevy, Liv, Kenzie, and Lizzie. And let's move on down by home plate and see if we can get a better angle or a different angle. Why not? We can do that when we're broadcasting from our cell phone. Going to go over by home plate so we can see some of what's going on over there. Roving camera. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Let's see what's going on with the game over here. Oh, yeah, this looks like fun.
Sorry, I turned it off.
That one, like in a normal field, that's probably one hop.
Shad, Liv, Kenzie, Lizzie.
They're just replaced. Look at him out there.
Is he dead?
Let's go, Shad. You got it, Shad. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Here's Chevy. Chevy grounded out to third, her first at-bat. This ball coming back. Oh!
Now I got a broken finger.
No balls and 1 strike on Chevy. Here's the 0-1. High, 1-1. Or maybe that's better. Is this better? You guys let me know. Chevy swings, pops this one up, and the catcher comes up and makes the grab. Emily with the grab. That is 1 out. That'll bring up Liv to the plate. First pitch to Liv. High, ball 1. Liv walked and came around to score back in the 2nd inning. Here's the 1-0 from May. High and outside, 2-0. 2-0 misses. It is 3-0 on Liv. Pretty sure Coach Dave was going to have his girls. He's going to say keep their bat in their pocket until May throws a strike, but there's a strike right there. So it's 3-1 here. The proverbial hitters count for Liv. And Liv swings and pops this one up, and diving Emily. So close. So her face hit the ground and she was still smiling. How much does this girl love softball? 3-2 on Liv. Here's the pitch from May, the payoff pitch. Liv fouls this one back off the backstop.
Oh, Liv.
Let's go, 6.
3 balls and 2 strikes. A pitch from May. Liv fouls this one off again.
You're on it, Liv.
May gets her sign. Here's the pitch. That one bounces. It's ball 4. That's another walk for Liv. So Liv trots her way down to first base. That brings up Kenzie. Kenzie reached on an error. She hard hit ball that got by the second baseman. Swing and a miss at that first pitch. No balls and 1 strike on Kenzie. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike on Kenzie. That one doesn't quite reach it. Throw down to second is, thrown to the second base player. She just wasn't covering the bag. 2 balls and 1 strike. A runner on second now, 1 out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch of Kenzie. And she laces that one into left field. Fielded by the left fielder. She gets that in quickly. And it's runners at the corners for the Monsters. For the Monsters and Lizzie Trudeau. So runners at first and third with 1 out for Lizzie. Lizzie got an RBI single her first at bat. There's a strike. And Kenzie takes second on the pitch. Runners at second and third now for Lizzie. That pitch misses, ball 1. Here's the 1-1. That misses, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That's in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and third. That's low and inside, and it's a full count now for Lizzie. A ground ball gets a run in, and it's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And now it's 2 outs for the Monsters. That brings up the pitcher, Aria Heath. Aria swings at a high one, and that's fouled out of play. First base side, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on Aria. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. And Aria hits a ground ball, fielded by second base. Throw to first is in time, and that'll do it. Run does not score. And after 3.5, it is still 7-2 in favor of the Monsters. Coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning for North Country, it's their 2-3-4 batters, Ellie, May, Grace, and then Liberty.
Are we serious? Oh.
Tomorrow. Sean will be out tomorrow. Get a load of this guy.
Yes, you are prepared.
Yep, I'm ready too. I'm ready.
Everyone's ready for the sun. Or the snow, or the rain.
Right, the snow brush is still inside the house. You know, it's leaning up against the door, ready to go.
2 weekends ago, we all were getting winter coats, which we have to go out in the rain, in the snow, the wind, in the dark.
Good old days.
We're all like, how many games did we play, girls? Like 12 at most? I mean, we didn't all get together.
To the 4th inning.
Just as the collect is.
All right, here we are, bottom of the 4th. LEP leading off for North Country. Ellie struck out swinging her first plate appearance. Here's a ground ball that gets through the hole into left field. It's a leadoff single for LEP. Ball thrown around, and Ellie takes second. Well, that's Little League-ish, now isn't it? Here's the pitcher, May. Here's the pitch from Aria. That's in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1 from Aria. Swung on, hard hit into center field. And North Country's got runners at the corners now for their cleanup hitter, Grace R. Grace grounded out to first. Her last plate appearance, her first time up. Here's the pitch from Aria. And swung on, that is sent out into right field, and that's going to drop in for a hit. 1 run scores. And we got runners at the corners again. Ellie scores, May goes to third, Grace is at first. No outs. And here's Liberty. So no outs, 3 singles in a row, 1 run in. Runners at the corners. Swung on, little chopper, fielded at third by Riley. She fakes it, throws back to third, and she is tagged out at third. What a play, had me duped. So it's a fielder's choice. Liberty reaches, and this is a 5 unassisted for out number 1. So we got runners at first and second now for Emily H., the catcher. That's in there for a call, strike 1. Emily reached on a single. She's 1 for 1 on the day. Swings at a bouncer, 0-2. Emily's got to remember, just because you want to hit the ball doesn't mean you should swing. Here's the 0-2. That's in there. Call strike 3. And just like that, there are 2 outs. That brings up G. G reached on an error. There's a throwing error over to first base. Pops this one up first base side. That's out of play. Oh, catches the back of the dugout there. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on G. Arya sets and deals. Inside ball. Runners do not advance. Here's the 1-1 from Arya. Swung on Arya. Not Arya, excuse me. G tattoos this one into center field. Fielded by the center fielder. Comes in. Ball gets thrown home unnecessarily. But it is an RBI double by G. So now with 2 outs, here's Ashley with runners at second and third. So there's no. It's really hard for these girls to hit a home run. The fence is 318 feet away. It's tough to send a baseball that far when you're 14, 15 years old, let alone a softball. That pitch misses, ball 1. Ashley grounded out to third, her first plate appearance. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ashley. Arya has her pitch. She deals. And that one's fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ashley. Arya looking to rip one by her. That one is hit. Fielded by Riley. Throw to first is in time for the force. So another ground out to third, 5-3. So, and North Country picks up 2 runs after 4 innings of play. It is 7-4 in favor of the Monsters. Coming up in the top of the 5th inning, it's McCarthy, G. Brielle, and then top of the order, Maddie, Estelle, and Hannah.
Yes, no, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Yes, clap for the heavyweight champ, me, but I couldn't do it all alone. We, Young Money raised me, grew up out in Paisley, Southside Jamaica, Queens and it's crazy, cause I'm still hood, Hollywood couldn't change me. Shout out to my haters, sorry that you couldn't phase me. Ain't being cocky, we just vindicated. Best believe that when we done this moment, we'll be syndicated. I don't know, this night just remind me of everything they deprived me of.
That first pitch to McCarthy's in there for a strike. 0-1. McCarthy pops this one up. First base side foul. Looks like the right fielder forgot to move to try to play that ball. May doesn't like how wet that ball is. No balls and 1 strike on McCarthy. Or 2 strikes, excuse me. May sets and deals. And she just throws that ball as high as she can. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, McCarthy gets fooled by the changeup. That's out number 1. That brings up G.
Come on, G. Let's go, G. Come on, kids. Confidence.
That's in there for a strike.
Come on, G.
G grounded out to third, her first at bat. Here's the 0-1 from May. That's in there, call strike 2. There's the 0-2 to G. That one sails away high, 1-2. I think May's trying to get Emily to jump. See how high she could jump. 1 ball and 2 strikes on G. See if May throws her the changeup. And she does. It just misses high, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on G. That one outside, 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on G. Here's the payoff pitch from May. And G, swing and a miss, strike 3. That is 2 outs for the Monsters here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Brielle to the plate. 2 outs and nobody on. May deals a low changeup. Ground ball back to May. Brielle hustling down the line, not going to make it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning here. In the top of the 5th inning, Monsters go down in order. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th for North Country, it is their 9, 10, 11 batters, Alice, Z, and Nora. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Monsters lead 7-4. All right, here is Alice to get things started for North Country in the bottom of the 5th inning. Monsters lead 7-4. Alice struck out swinging her first plate appearance. Aria deals, and that is fouled off, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on Alice. That one bounces, ball 1. Here's the 1-1. A swing and a miss by Alice. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Aria. Low. Liv not able to keep it in front of her. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 to Alice. In there, call strike 3. That's 1 out for North Country. That brings up Z to the plate. First pitch to Z, swing and a miss, strike 1.
303.
Here's the 0-1 from Aria. Oh, just missed outside, 1-1.
402.
Right? Not high. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a bunt. And it's going to stay fair. And that'll bring up Nora. You can blow on it. They've done it in the majors. Just can't touch it. So runner on first. That pitches. Call strike 1. Z at first. 1 out. Monsters lead 7-4. Aria deals to Nora. And that is popped up over the backstop. 0-2 on Nora. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes on Nora. 1 out, runner on first. Aria deals. That's called strike 3.
Good job, Aria.
So with 2 outs and a runner on first, here's the leadoff hitter. Top of the order, Lucy. Lucy's popped out to shortstop and struck out looking. Aria deals. It's a strike. Runner goes, and she is. Oh, Hannah missed the tag. She pitches a strike on Lucy. That was a great throw by Liv. I don't know how Hannah missed her. It must have been that, that dive, that die-hard dive roll. Where she Indiana Jones did. That ball's fouled off, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes on Lucy. 2 outs, runner on second. And that ball is hit to second. Knocked down, a little soft toss to first in time for out number 3. That's how you stay with it. So North Country strands a runner, a base runner, not able to score at all after 5 innings of play. It is your CNY Monsters 7 and North Country Nova 4. Coming to bat in the top of the 6th inning for the Monsters, it's the top of the order. Maddie, Estelle, Hannah, Riley, and Ella coming up. All right, here's Maddie. Maddie's 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. Came around to score back in the third inning. First pitch popped up, and that's going to go out of play. Strike one. Seven-4 lead for the Monsters here in the top of the sixth inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Changeup. Sits on it. Ends up popping it up. And, oh, she almost got it. That's Ellie over at first base. Almost came away with it. New life for Maddie. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Maddie jumped out of the way for some reason. Yeah, that wouldn't have hurt at all. It was bouncing everything. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Maddie. That ball sails high. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Maddie. May deals. Misses. 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. And that is laced into right field. And Z not able to get it. Oh, she's gotten everything else. Ball gets dropped. And Maddie slides into second. It is a leadoff double for Maddie and the Monsters. Going to get a new ball in for May. And let's see if Estelle is going to be able to move Maddie over to third. First pitch to Estelle. Misses high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to Estelle. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 from May. Runner on second. 7-4 lead. Estelle swings and fouls off a pitch that was high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes. May deals. Estelle swings a lot earlier. Ball goes to third. Throw down to first is in time. 5-3 goes the putout for out number 1. But she does her job and moves Maddie over to third. That'll bring up Hannah Simmons to the plate. So 1 out and a runner on third for Hannah. Pitch high, ball 1. Monsters lead 7-4 here in the top of the sixth inning. There's 1 out, runner on third. 1 ball and no strikes on Hannah Simmons. May deals. Hannah belts one into right field. Z not going to be able to get there in time. Hannah rounds first. She's going to go into second, and it is a stand-up RBI double for Hannah Simmons. As she goes into second, and Maddie comes home That puts a runner at second and one out, one run in for Riley Trude. Riley's 0 for 2, and she tattoos this one. Splits left and center field. They're playing her way deep, and Riley in with a stand-up RBI double. So 2 runs in as O'Reilly trades places with Hannah. That brings up Ella Precision to the plate. Pitch is up and out, ball 1. Good job by Ellie holding on to it. Keeps Riley at second. Here's the 1-0 from May. And Ella puts this one into right field. It goes off the glove of Z. I'm going to have to do that. One's going to have to be an E9. It's an E9. E9. Runners at the corners now for Chevy with 1 out. Chevy's grounded out to third and popped out to the catcher. I've seen Chevy hit the ball a lot further than the catcher. Let's see how far she hits it this time. 1 out, 2 runs in. Shows bunt, pulls back, calls, strike 1. And Ella takes second. Here's the 0-1. Chopper foul, third base side, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on Chevy. Chevy pops out one, goes up and over the backstop. Here's the 0-2. Chevy hits this one, way early. That goes foul. No balls and 2 strikes on Chevy. There's a pitch from May. Check swing. Chevy steps over the ball. She almost got hit by it. And it's an RBI. It's a sacrifice. We'll take the RBI there for Chevy. As Riley comes in to score and Ella goes to third. That brings up the catcher, Liv. 2 outs, runner on third for Liv. And Liv pops this one into left field. There's an RBI single for the Monsters catcher. So 4 runs in. We're going to get a runner for Liv so she can get her gear on because she's the catcher. Chevy's going to go in and run for her. And that brings up Kenzie. Kenzie's been on base twice, one on an error, one on a single. Come around to score 1 time. Here she is with 2 outs. Swings, ground ball, and that gets by as the shortstop was coming over to cover second. Left a giant hole and a single for Kenzie. That brings up Lizzie Trudell to the plate with 2 outs and 2 on. Runners at first and second. 4 runs are in. It is 11-4 in favor of the Monsters. May sets and deals. That pitch is in there for a strike. Lizzie's got a single, an RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout. Quite the day for Lizzie. That ball bounces in front of the plate. Ellie able to scramble and stay on top of it, so nobody advances on the base path. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. May gets her sign, throws that one high, 2-1. Throw down to second, doesn't quite make it. Sorry about that. I was not paying attention. My bad. Here's the 2-1. High, 3-1. It's a hitter's count now with 3 balls and 1 strike. Lizzie gets to pick a spot and tattoo the ball if it's in that spot. That's not the spot. That's ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Aria Heath. I've never seen Aria hit the ball 320 feet, but wouldn't that be something? And Aria, ground ball back to the pitcher. May fields, turns, throws over to first in time for out number 3. But 4-run score in the top of the 6th inning for the Monsters. And after 5.5 innings of play, they lead 11-4. Coming up to bat for North Country in the bottom of the 6th. It's their 2-3-4 batters. The first base player, Ellie, the pitcher, May, and left fielder, Grace, coming to bat.
There's a 12 minutes where I got to
I told the Billy to back in the hot day.
I have 3 boys. I think
In front of the Billy in front of the drive. And now I see that the weed is smoking the road. I step up and cut up a drink and I shoot up the tires. I'm in the coupe by myself. I had to kick it down when I was fast.
why? It's so weird. What?
I'm sick and tired of me.
You're weird. I love it. He's my favorite. Isn't that the surfer one? Still like works at the pool? No. It's so weird. Get it together. Okay. That's so weird.
All right, here is Ellie to get things started for the North Country Nova here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ellie is 1 for 2 with a single, a strikeout, and a run scored. First pitch low and inside, ball 1. 4-2. And there's a ground ball to short, fielded by Hannah. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. That'll bring up the pitcher, May. First pitch to May in there, call strike 1. May's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And that's it, no RBIs. What she got? Oh, there's a hard hit right to Hannah. Hannah knocks it down. Recovers, throw to first, not in time. May with an infield single is 3 for 3. Ooh, way to hustle that one out, May. She ran all the way, May. That brings up Grace. Grace is 1 for 2. Ground out to first and a single. Run scored. First pitch is a strike. Aria sets and deals. There's a ground ball to second. Gets bobbled. Gonna have to go to first for the out. She thought about turning 2, and she thought too hard. So May advances to second, and that brings up Liberty. Liberty struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. That was when that ball was grounded to third when Riley faked her throw to first and turned around and tagged May out at third. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. 2 outs here, bottom of the sixth. Hits that ball a little twister. 0-2. A bit of a cool breeze coming in from the outfield. No balls and 2 strikes. Aria sets and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, and that'll do it for North Country here in the 6th inning. After 6 innings of play, it's the Monsters 11, North Country 4. Coming up in the top of the 7th for the Monsters. It's the game. Never mind, we're not doing that. We ran out of time? Could be. So that's the ball game from field number 5 here at Hopkins Road in Liverpool, New York. This first game of whatever the name of this tournament is a victory for the Monsters. They come away winning 11-4. We'll be here in 30 minutes for game 2 for these Monsters. From Hopkins Road, I am the Dan-Dalin, a positive influence. I want to thank all of my sponsors that help support this channel. Two Broke Moms, located on North Jefferson Street in Pulaski, next to the Dollar General. Top Notch Construction and Roofing. Power Play Sports, located on exit 47 off Interstate 81. And Glory Construction and Development for all of your new building and new structure construction needs. If you're going to have it built in his glory. Again, I am the Dan-Dalin, a positive influence, reminding you, don't wait for it to be a good day. Make it a great day, everyone.